sound of traffic transformed on a northern Michigan highway this morning. Usually when planes land and take off in Alpena, they do it here at the regional airport. But this morning, the U.S. military did something it had never done before. Landings and takeoffs of modern aircraft on a shutdown stretch of highway. Today, that was M32. Today's 6 takeoffs and landings were part of Operation Northern Strike, the annual Air National Guard training that brings troops from around the country here to practice their skills. Up North Live's Josh Kerman was right in the middle of this morning's unusual use of a northern Michigan highway.
Even overcast weather couldn't keep Michigan from making history today. 6 modern military aircraft landed on a U.S. highway for the first time ever. Around 9 a.m. this morning, the first A-10 touched down. The others were soon to follow. And over the course of about 2 hours, the training exercise wrapped up here on M32.
This is all part of a new initiative by the Air Force called Agile Combat Employment. We are changing the way we present our forces for combat.
Nearly 6 months of planning for a few hours of training. But this event brought together groups from the Alpena Fire Department all the way to the Michigan Department of Transportation. A massive amount of teamwork and communication on all ends. And today's effort was a lesson in preparing for moments like that.
I wouldn't say there's anything in general happening that's driving this. It's just an understanding of the need to be ready. It's readiness, military readiness. We always have to stay ready. So that's a big part of why it's important now.
The cost of this practice is lumped in with the overall cost of North Strike this year. And according to those involved, today went smoothly, even with some last-minute fixes.
We did some extra mowing, tree clearing, removed some signs this morning to make sure that there would be no obstacles.
Air Force personnel on site explained a normal runway is around 6,000 feet, but today pilots only had 5,000. Even so, they explained that in the end, it's still landing an airplane, and that's what they trained to do. There are no tests like this planned moving forward, but the Air Force plans to continue working on their agility. In Alpena County, Josh Kerman.
Well, tonight, some parents in West Michigan are preparing to send their kids back to school, not knowing if they'll have to wear a mask when they show up or not. Right now, the state is recommending that all staff and all students at K through 12 schools statewide wear a mask, even if they've had the vaccine. Tonight, News Channel 3's Emira Austin is joining us live in Portage to tell us where districts in the Kalamazoo area stand. Emira.
Andy, Portage Public Schools is sticking to its decision not to require masks this upcoming school year. While some districts are rethinking that, I called districts around West Michigan today and found only one that's requiring masks. Some Michigan school districts are wrestling with the decision of whether or not to require masks this upcoming school year.
This is one of those decisions that no matter where we land, we're not going to make everybody happy.
Portage Public School Superintendent says the district is not requiring face coverings unless the state or county health departments put a mask mandate in place.
We're working closely with the Kalamazoo County Health Department in following their recommendations, and that's what they've issued as recommendations right now. There are no mandates.
The district is leaving the decision up to students, families, and staff.
I think it's important that the school districts follow the recommendations, yet it's really up to the parents what they think is best for their kids.
Others are in support of schools requiring masks this year.
I think it's a good idea. We've lost some family members to COVID.
Matawan Consolidated Schools plan to make masks optional this year. The superintendent tells me today that the district is reevaluating its safety protocols and will send out an update next week. With the Delta variant spreading, the CDC is recommending people mask up inside all public places where COVID-19 transmission rates are substantial or high. Right now, that includes most of West Michigan.
There are people who are very supportive of not wearing masks, and there are people that are very supportive of masks. So schools, again, are caught in the middle.
Thousands of renters in Michigan at risk of losing their homes could avoid eviction for another 60 days. The CDC is extending its ban on evictions for 2 months. That's only in areas with high or substantial COVID-19 transmission rates. News Channel 3's Mike Kravsik joins us in Kalamazoo to break down this new order and what challenges remain. Mike.
Yeah, Erica, a housing attorney tells me this order has some uncertainty. The ban depends on the level of COVID-19 transmission in your area. And while Kalamazoo and other surrounding counties are fine for now, if transmission rates go lower, then the protection is removed. a reprieve for renters. The CDC extending its eviction ban 60 days. In places with substantial or high transmission, 44 Michigan counties qualify for the latest round of eviction freeze.
So that number is going to be moving, makes it a bit more uncertain and confusing to tenants, landlords, and others alike.
If COVID-19 transmission rates drop for 14 consecutive days, then renters in counties now protected face the risk of losing their homes.
Really extends protections that we've seen with a little bit of a limitation. We're still seeing high rates of people who are facing eviction for the purposes of non-payment of rent.
Alyssa Parker, managing attorney for Legal Services of South Central Michigan, says there's a bigger problem that won't be solved: lack of affordable housing.
We've seen properties that in Battle Creek would rent between $500, $600, $700 a month go well over $1,000. No improvements to the property. They're not anything different.
Ashley Hotrum doesn't have to worry about an eviction.
It's very stressful living with family.
The mother of two lives with her parents. She says bad credit and soaring rents are making renting out of reach.
At this rate, with how much no help I've really had, I don't really find anything that was willing to work with me.
Now, before the CDC order, it's estimated that thousands of renters face possible evictions beginning as early next week, as tenants had 10 days to pay off their back rent as part of a state court order.